Learn.
We've got a positive cavalcade of people to the great and good of content management systems tonight, which I'm not going to steal any of their kind of thunder, but they're so important that they're mic'd up, a bit like kind of Britney Spears or something like that. Hello, 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 hello. No, it's not on yet, obviously. They're not real ones. No, I've got a couple of graphs which I hope these guys are not going to show, so I'm not kind of stealing anyone's thunder. But this one was shown to me by Bjorn. Is he loitering? There he is. He's at the back. This one was shown to me recently by Bjorn. I'm sure most of you are familiar with it. It's Google Trends, and I've just typed in there web design. Now, since 2004, coming towards this date, it's showing a kind of what looks like, for people in our industry, a bit of a worrying decline. Now, is that because the web is on its knees finished, or is something else kind of happening? Cue second graph. There's the twist. Just scroll down a little bit for me. Okay, so what we're looking at here is Drupal, Joomla, WordPress, and web design. So the green one, we've got web design showing a decline, and we've got various content management systems showing an increase. Actually, what's happening is online is that the way that we're publishing is changing. Yeah, the systems that we use and the ways that we're publishing content to our websites, it's not necessarily anymore about you having HTML skills, although that is an important thing to be able to do when you search engine optimization and changing your website and that kind of thing. But there are other ways of getting content onto websites, which is kind of what tonight is about, really. That's what a content management system is. Most of you will be familiar with, social media and Facebook and things like that. We had another tipping point occur last week on the web, which was in America. Facebook is now getting more traffic than Google. It's getting more visitors than Google. It's another one of these tipping points where possibly the decision-making stuff and the interest is transferring away just from necessarily search engines into social media. More of an interest in publishing is going into social media, and what is on your website perhaps is not going on there by HTML changes anymore. It's going on there via a content management system. What has partly driven this event is that the invite you might have had has said, if we had £1 for everybody who said, I want to change some content, but... Yeah, that's where your content management systems should come in. We're all about removing the barriers. There should be no barrier to you actually publishing content to your website. If you want to go out and do HTML and website design and all that kind of stuff, and use that sort of a classic approach, original, old school approach to website design, we can help you with that as part of eChampions and Access Centre. But surely you need to look at a more clever, more scalable use of giving everybody within your business the chance to change various bits of content on the website.
Oh, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's me, Paul Shaw. Jonathan and I was 1996 we started. Well, I used to stand up doing presentations saying this internet thing is going to get really big, loads of people are going to go online, that modem's going to get really, really fast, and there's going to be stuff called ADSL, and everybody was going, yeah, it'll never catch on. And look where we are now, all these, how many years later?
It's only taken about 20 years.
Well, that's right. Right, okay, so what we're going to talk about is CMS system. First of all, what is a CMS system? Content management system. It isn't a design management system. What we're really talking about is something that separates the design of the website from the content. You can go in, change the content. It enables you to be in control of your website. When we first started, we used to say to people, we'll do your website. When you want to change, come back to us. Tell us what you want to do about this news item or this event or something. We'll put it on for you. We'd have to charge them, and they'd get fed up with it, and they didn't want to do it, and so on. So we look upon sites as being brochure sites, CMS sites, or e-commerce site. So who needs one? How many people have got websites here? And how many people can change them? Keep your hands up. Excellent. Well, that's good, because that's what we want. Well, there seem to be quite a large number of people who've got them. Why are we all talking about CMSs, but they've all got them?
Well, they might not be working.
They might not be working. Oh, you haven't got one? Well, we'll talk to you then. Right. Right. So why do we need a CMS system? Because the internet needs you to change your content of your website. Your business changes. You need to tell people that you've got a news item, an event going on. You need to tell them about your products, about everything that's going on in your business, because when somebody wants to come and talk to you about your business, they'll go onto the website and see what's happening. And if it says on there, President Obama was elected yesterday, and they think, well, that's a bit out of date, isn't it? I wonder what they're like at running their business. It doesn't give a very good reflection of how you actually operate. So everybody needs a website that they can change themselves. So what sorts? Let's have a look. There's various sorts of websites, CMS systems. There's The guys are going to talk later about open source free systems. I'm going to talk about bespoke systems. And the reason why I'm talking about bespoke systems is because that's what we generally use for our customers. And can we just move on to there? Yeah, next one. No, sorry. What I'll talk about first of all is go through what areas we'll talk about. Why have a bespoke system? How does it work? Examples of the back-end system. That's the area where you can go in and make changes to the website yourself. What the costs are, roughly, and how to choose a supplier. And then Alistair will be coming on and talking about the open source systems later. Okay? Right, why would you have a bespoke system as opposed to an open source system? Generally, it's a turnkey. What we're saying is there that if you come to an organisation and say, I want you to create for me a CMS system, you'll tell them what you're wanting to change, products information, staff members, information about your events, news items, and generally some changes to the site itself. We can set it up and it'll do exactly what you want, or it can be set up to do exactly what you want. You don't really need to have any web skills. You don't need to learn Dreamweaver, how FTP works, because generally it's a web-based system. You'll go online, you'll log into the system, you'll go to a page and you'll say, this is today's news, and type it in, and that then will appear on the website immediately for you. You don't have to understand how HTML works. You can upload images and so on. If you're doing an open source system, I would argue that you have to learn a little bit how the system works. You have to perhaps have a little bit more technical skill, and so you don't really know exactly how long it's going to take to do these things. We've used a few open source systems ourselves, and don't get me wrong, I don't think there's anything wrong with them, but it's sometimes you're learning things that you will only learn once. You don't need to learn, if you're, for example, if you want to do some plumbing at home, by the time you've done the last joint of plumbing, you're really expert, but if you don't do it again for another 5 years, you will have forgotten how to do it. So I would suggest that there isn't a necessity for having an open source system if you're only going to do it once. If you're wanting to learn technically how to do these things and it's part of your business and you're very interested in it, then that's another issue. If it's mission critical, you need to get something up and running. You need to give somebody the responsibility of saying if it goes wrong, you can phone them up and get it sorted out. Again, that's another good reason for a bespoke system. And if you've got some unusual requirements, I think that, I don't know everything about open source systems because I don't use them all the time, but sometimes you might have a particular requirement that you, because of the way that you run your business, you want to do something unusual, and with open source it becomes more difficult to do those sorts of things, I would argue. Maybe.
You're right.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Okay, how does it work? Basically, you have a database that accepts information that you put into it through a form. You're able to upload images and upload documents, and that then enables you to change what's on the website. So if you want to go onto your system, you type in today's news, press the button, and it will be live online. So that is, the instantaneousness of that is fantastic. It also helps a lot being able to change things, I didn't mention earlier, but having a site that is changing, the guys will tell you about search engine optimization. Having changes on the site frequently makes the site, when it gets spidered, more interesting to Google, and it's probably going to help you with your rankings. Okay. Right, just a few examples of the things that we've done for some. This Banner Jones up in Chesterfield. It's probably easy, it's not very exciting reading that, but basically there's a lot of solicitors, and each solicitor has a different speciality. Somebody might be responsible for family divorces and probate. Somebody else might be interested in criminal law, driving and so on. But each of the solicitors, we had to give them a system that enabled them to say which departments each solicitor was responsible for. And when you went through to the website, you typed in, I'm interested in somebody who does criminal law, and it would list all the solicitors out. So it is an unusual system, and I'm not sure how easy. Do you think that would be to put into an open source system? What do you reckon? Good. Would it? All right. Well, I think that from our point of view, that was a bit unusual, and so we did something for them like that. Okay, another example. We've got BCS College in Nottingham. They wanted to have a course system that enabled them to put in all the information about their courses and prices. Eventually, it turned into an e-commerce system. They want to be able to download documents for free. You upload them, and so on. That was, again, that might be able to do that with an open source system.
This is an eChampions production on behalf of Access Centre.